This is a Delta Model 700 scroll saw. It's got a 24-inch throat and is quite robustly built. It's a pleasure to have this thing. This was built in the late 1930s by Delta, which traded at that time under the name of Delta Specialty Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yes, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It came to me several months ago. A postman struggled up my front walk carrying this big wooden box filled with most of the parts of this saw, sent to me through the generosity of Ray Benner. Larry Twaits and I put together a table for the saw, and then I assembled what I could of the saw and made the parts that were missing and tweaked the thing into operating shape, which it is in now. I've got this on a 1425 RPM motor, 3.5-inch drive pulley, a standard 4L belt going to a 5-inch driven pulley on the spindle of the mechanism. This produces a reciprocating motion of the saw at a rate of about 1,000 strokes per minute. What I have on here at the moment is a 5-inch plain end blade, but these saws could be modified to take pin end blades or saber blades or even the little files that, like the 3-inch files you see on small shop die filers. The saw is driven by a fairly standard Scotch yoke arrangement inside the crankcase, lubricated by splash lubrication with light engine oil filling the lower half of the crankcase up to the level of the top of the filler tube here. Also inside the crankcase is an impeller which generates a stream of air which I've let out through a piece of tubing here, which returns via the inside of this overarm and exits through a little brass doodad which is directed down at the point where the sawdust accumulates as a result of the saw cut. So let's turn the thing on and actually make a cut. This is just a random piece of teak, and the first thing we'll do is loosen this thumb screw and set the hold down foot to an appropriate height, which we've done. And in addition to a hold down, there is a little wheel in front here which has a number of slots in it, which you probably can't see, but these act as a blade guide to keep the blade from vibrating back and forth. So let's up the magnification just a little bit. And let's make a cut following no particular pattern. And that's a pretty smooth surface. Not bad for a 75-year-old saw.